Ano yun?
Magkano bili mo nung sa SD?
520. Isa. So, 1,000 plus total. Ano ako? First na, no? Okay.
So, kung bumili pala ako ng mga 7.5, nabenta ko 12 yun. Kasi yung ano niya kasi yung pre-order nun, bro. Naka-pre-order ako sa job store. 5.4 lang pre-order nun eh. Ang tigil. Dapat pala dinamihan ko.
Isang box.
Isang box. Tapos yung case nun parang discounted pa ate. Parang nasa 40 something yung case.
Okay, pass.
Dapat pala bumili na ako ng case nun. Hindi ko alam nalilipat na sila eh.
Hindi ako iniiwasan kong English kasi mahal.
Gets naman, pero
Yeah.
different times.
Yeah. Seven liter.
Grabe, pinampagat ako.
Actually, sige tama.
Ito, bilis.
Pass. Effect 8 liter.
Durability.
Yep. And turn.
Lala? Either.
Pucha. Sige, take ulit.
Magawa sa rin.
Go.
Masura kami.
Naman sa ulo niya. Yep.
Perfect works. Nagbilag na ako.
Perfect. Sige, patayin muna natin. Yamato, 10. Enter. Pass.
It's the time, sir. It's the time.
Sakta pumasok ako, bababa ng market, tapos na...
Ang size?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mas kung lang pa sa akin.
Gawin natin siyang 4. Di. Papalo tayo. Palo yan. Palo yan. Parang buwasan.
Sige, let's keep her around. Natatawa paluin mo?
8 liter!
No? Ito, papalo.
Grabe naman, pinabihan ako. Ang cute ni Otto mo, pinapatay eh.
Yun talaga.
Pinapatay si Otto. Wala naman yung sir.
Pero meron pa rin. Hindi yung parang, may time na kasi di ba wala din.
Kaya nag-ramp ba ako?
8 ako, so 9 ka.
9.
Paano ka na
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ito yung gusto ko sa tayo. Ang laki ng kamay eh.
Kaya nga eh.
Kakamiss eh. Nagsaya na feeling. Asama na palaging kulang sa kamay.
Sige.
Ano tuloy kasi may sinasabi ko tayo
9 lead. Well, rest na lang. Sige.
Papaluin mo ba yan namin na sir?
Hindi.
Liter ability niya.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Ay, hindi.
Pero wala tong freeze bro.
Oh. Leader mo. Perfect. Gusto ko lang. Actually, wala pa ng kwenta yun. Haharangin mo lang. Huwag na. Patay pa. Sige, pass.
Uy, nabuhay si Izo. Pero pinatay eh. Pero isa pa.
Alam mo, masyado ko nakakasakit eh. Ilan yung nakatouch?
Dalawa. 14.
Sa 13.
13.
Apat ang, 5 ang kailangan ko. Sakit naman.
Ano sinabahan mo na? 2 cards.
Yep.
Basically, dapat dinagdagan ko na.
Yeah.
10.
Yan ang wala. Kulang. Sakit. Take muna. Ten.
Liter ability.
10.
Leader ability.
Ay! Hindi, tama pala. Oh. Okay, enter.
3 cards.
2 cards.
Gagawin ko dito.
Nachakit.
Automatic siya. Parang yun lang naman ata play na itong deck na to eh. Two cards. Doon tayo kay Mihawk. Para wala lang 2K na libre.
Oo nga, no? Hindi ito kami ability. Actually.
40.
Hindi, tama. Ulang.
Start pa ba tayo? 8. 1K. Taas na 1.
Nakapag-character mo.
Ito yung mga pala to. Oh, that. Yeah, that. Tinayo ko pa, sir.
Mihawk.
Grabe, nililitan na ako ha.
Kung alam kung kaya eh.
Nililitan na ako, 3 lifespan.
Check.
Nag-open hand kami nun na.
Nililitan na ako.
Ano siya?
Nililitan na tayo.
10 lead.
Effect.
Unlockable sa...
Bumangit ah, leader ability.
Yung sa akin dalawa. Feeling ko kasi kailangan nyo yun.
Pa. Okay.
Grabe, nililitan na talaga ako.
11.
Grabe, nililitan na talaga ako. Sorry. Shit!
Kaya ba? Kung may Roger ka, panalo ka na next turn eh. 13.
Magkano yan sa'yo?
13.
Ang lungkot naman ito.
Ay, teka. Ay, kaya. Ay, nag-leader ka na no, yung -2. Okay. Hey, good morning. Welcome back and Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope everyone's having a good run of the holidays. Me, I'm just here chilling, trying to round up these videos of the new OP14 sets. Today I'm bringing you my version of the green Mihawk from OP14 once again. Originally, I didn't start out liking this particular leader, but as I got to use it more and more, it's kind of growing on me. And as I've said with my previous videos, the new OP14 leaders present new ways to play certain lines with the certain colors. In the case of Mihawk, you'd normally expect green to be doing a lot of resting and restanding, which is still somehow true for this deck. However, starting with OP14, we've started to see what began in EB02 and is a bit more prominent now, which is to prevent your opponent's characters from resting. Overall, I think Mihawk is able to establish strong board presence, especially when he gets that optimal curve. It's very difficult to stop him. But without further ado, let's get into the deck list. So first of all, the leader ability is in 2 parts. If Mihawk is up against the slash attribute character, he gains plus 1000 power, which is very good into leaders like Roronoa Zoro, Goldie Roger, Buggy. Then he also has an activate main ability. You may rest one of your cards, any card on your field, then you may restand 3 Dons. If you use this ability, you can no longer play characters. And by any card on the field, they do mean any card, whether it's Don, a character, a stage, or even the leader. And in that sense, it's very good for either aggression or defense if you want to restand Don and use them for counter events. Okay, so starting off with our main attackers, these are the cards you want to be able to find during your curve. We have first from starter deck 24, Law and Beppo, 10 cost 11,000 power, no counter. On play, you may rest one of your opponent's characters and prevent them from refreshing during your opponent's next refresh stage. At the same time, if your opponent has 2 or more rested characters on their board, your leader gets plus 2,000 power. I'd say this card is very crucial against the red-blue ace from OP13. It's difficult to end the game if you don't find this card, especially when he starts building up the new gates on board. Then one of the newer cards from OP14, Dracule Mihawk, 9 cost 10,000 power, 2 effects. The first is when, during your turn, if this character becomes rested, one of your opponent's 9 cost or less characters cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this effect gets activated whether it's rested through character effects, through card effects, or when Mihawk attacks. His other effect is during your opponent's attack, you may discard a card from your hand and give one of your leaders or character plus 2,000 power. Next, we have 7 cost Shanks, 9,000 power from OP14. During your turn, when this character becomes rested, you may rest one of your opponent's 7,000 power or less characters. Then on your opponent's turn, if this card is rested, give all your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power. So it's somewhat of a similar ability to the 7 cost Foxy from OP07, and about half of its ability from the OP09 10 cost Shanks. Then finally, we have the card that you'd want to find on your 5 or 6 Dawn turn. Tashigi, 5 cost 6,000 power, 1,000 counter. If this character were to be removed from the board by your opponent's effects, you may rest one of your cards. And once again, that means any card that you have on your field. Then, activate main. You may rest 2 of your cards and give this character plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then, as additional support, we have first from OB12, the secret rare Bonnie, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter. This card is a blocker that has the on-play ability of draw 2, trash 1 if you had 8 or more rested cards on your field. Then you may restand one of your Dawn cards. Next we have the Carrot from OP08, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter. On play or when attacking, one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less does not restand during their next refresh phase. Then we have the 1 cost stage Coffin Boat. On play, draw 1 card. Then, at the end of your turn, you may restand one of your Dons. Then we have Okiku, or Kiku Nojo, from OP14. 1 cost, 2k power, 2k counter. At the end of your turn, you may restand this card. At first glance, this card doesn't really make much sense to use, but when you combine it with Mihawk's ability or with the Tashigi, then it just gives you a free option to use instead of one of your Dons or your other character cards. Then finally, we have the Searcher Perona from OP12 that can get you a slash character or a green character. Within the first 2 turns, you'd want to try and be able to find these 3 cards, Coffin Boat, Okiku, and Perona. Mostly so that you have options to rest other than your characters and Dawn for the Mihawk effect or Tashigi. Lastly, we have additional defense. First off, from PRB02, Roronoa Zoro, 4 cost, 4k power, 2k counter. It is a blocker that can prevent itself from being rested. Basically, the effect says that if this character were to be rested, you may rest one of your other characters instead. Then we have Odin from OP14, 4 cost, 5k power, 2k counter. During your opponent's turn, if this character were to be rested, it gains plus 2,000 power. So just enough to keep itself alive. This card can also be an option if you are somehow unable to find the Coffin Boat, Okiku, Perona. You can play this card out instead. And finally, we have our counter events. First up, from OP12, I think this card needs no explanation. Demon Ashura is able to rest 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn. Then we have the new counter effect from OP14, Strive to Surpass Me, Roronoa Zoro. So it is a counter event that can give you plus 4,000 power in exchange for resting one of your other cards. Some other options that you might be able to find other players using would include the 5-cost Perona from OP14 that can stop two of your opponent's 5-cost or less characters from resting, and is able to bring out another green card if it dies. Now, just personally, I went with Carrot mostly because I use the Perona in my other Perona deck, but also because Carrot has a more recyclable effect. There's also the 2-cost counter event from OP14 that can also rest a 7,000 power or less. But I felt that at 2 Dawn cost, it might be a bit more expensive, so I went with these options instead. Overall, this deck has a good balance between aggression and board control, in that you can restand your Dawns for attack, or you can prevent your opponent's characters from restanding, resting, or you can rest them. One major weakness that this deck might have, though, is that it can get bricky in hand a lot. So some good options would be the 0-cost green counter event, the Will You Be My Samurai that can draw you 2 cards, or any card that can help you filter your hand in general. Now, I definitely would recommend you try using this deck as an alternative to what's in the meta right now with Ace and Emu. I think Mihawk is another strong contender, and it's found a lot of use in Japan. But that's all I have to say for today. If you have any decks that you would want us to try, please let me know down in the comments. Or if you have any other plays, or if you have any other recommendations that you would like to make, please also let me know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow this page for more. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. Bye.